Right folks, we've got exactly 3 hours fishing to try and get as many perch on the bank, if any, as possible today. It was meant to be a longer session, however, I got a notification this morning saying my Penn tidal rods were being delivered, so I needed to wait in for those. I've been dying to get them. So what are we going to be testing and what are we going to be doing today? Well, Harmony Baits have been nice enough to send me some samples of their lures. Now, I've been seeing these guys popping up all over my social media feeds, and the stuff looks absolutely amazing. They just seem to be doing everything right as a company, so I needed to get involved with them. The lures are very innovative. They're these grub imitation style lures, which are the perfect size for targeting perch, chub, pike, trout, anything that swims really, on a lure setup. So my setup for today is going to be very simple. Now, I might change it up because I've seen the canal behind me and it is absolutely littered with leaves. So I might swap what I've got on here to a Texas rig, but we'll start off on a normal jig head. If I start getting pestered by pike, small jack pike, then I'm going to have to take this fluorocarbon leader that I've got off and put a wire trace on. But because I'm using such small lures, I don't know whether the pike are going to bother with them. I'm hoping that they're not. I am targeting the perch. Now, this is a really tough little stretch of canal, so I'm not promising that we're going to catch anything. Conditions are ideal. It's nice and overcast. It's a little bit of a misty day, and it has been for a few days. So conditions to me seem right. The time is midday, so that's probably the worst time for a bite for lure fishing. I would say if you come in lure fishing, come in the morning or come in the late afternoon. But you never know. You've got to be in it to win it. I wanted some exercise. I wanted to get down here and give it a go. So I'm going to set the Nomad watch going on the GPS. We're going to see how many miles we can cover in this few hours while we're fishing. And then I'll show you the results of that at the end of the session. So I think I'm going to start off, like I said, on a normal jig head. If we start getting bothered by leaves, then I will have to put something weedless on. But I think we'll start off with these grub style lava, but we can also try these yellow A-pod lures that are sealed. I don't want to open them until I use them. But yeah, really innovative, cool little lures. They're a European company, but they are starting to get stockists in the UK. And if I really like them, I'll become a stockist as well. So it's easier for you to buy these lures. Let's see if we can catch any fish on them. My setup for today, I've actually changed my perch fishing setup slightly. I've gone from a 6-foot rod to an 8-foot rod because I feel like you can work a lure much better with a longer rod than you can with a shorter rod. This is a 3 to 14 gram, 8'3" rod, and I've got this loaded with 12-pound braid, and I've got a leader, a fluorocarbon leader of 7 pound on today. So a nice light setup, not a micro setup by any stretch of the imagination, but light enough that I can work a 3 gram jig head really slowly and hopefully manage to catch something. The canal is really busy this afternoon. There's people walking in every direction, so I'm going to wrap this up here. Let's get into the video. Right folks, let's get a jig head out. I'm still building up all my lure fishing tackle, to be quite honest with you folks. So I've got loads of stuff for Texas rigs there, so if we need to do a Texas rig we can, if we start getting bothered by all this leaf litter. But I'm going to start off on a 3 gram little micro jig head. I think that's going to give us our best chance for a perch. So we'll get one of those out. These are just Fox Rage jig heads, a nice high quality jig head there. I've already got this all set up and tied on, just with a little clip. Like I said, the first pike that we get bothered with, and I will swap this on to a wire trace. I'm being probably a little bit irresponsible. Do as I say, not as I do. But I do want to be in with my best chance of getting a perch. Whether the wire trace actually puts them off or not, I don't know. But I feel like you can work a lure a lot more subtly with fluorocarbon. So let's put one of these soft grubs on. They feel so weird. They're the softest lure material that I think I've ever felt. There we go, folks. Let's see how we get on with that. Start at this bridge behind me. We'll see if there's anything under there. I'm just going to be fishing to structures today. I'm not going to be bothering with the middle of the canals. Right, let's set the Coros Nomad going so we can see how many miles we do. This has got a cast counter as well, but I think it'll only work if the watch is on my casting arm. Let's get this going. Just finding GPS. There's a fella coming. Right, we're off and running. It'll track where we are and it'll allow me to mark any catches along the way. This is just me doing a bit more exploring of this section of the canal now. I've got a little bit more experience in lure fishing, but it is a tough stretch. Everybody tells me that it's a tough stretch, so let's have a go. I've only ever caught a couple of perch. From this stretch. Got my polarized glasses on and I can't see any fish moving about yet. But a few casts per spot, holes in it hell of a lot more often than I normally would. This lure's got a really cool action. It's got like a spinning action as it falls. Pretty cool effect. And when you twitch it, it really does spin about under the water. Loads of movement in it. On a branch there, folks. Not sure I'm getting that out. Well, we've lost the lure and also the hook. Look at that. This is Fox Rage. I take back what I said about them being quality. My gosh. Right, well, first lure down and first jig head down, but at least we got the rig back. Can't believe the shank of the hook just sheared. That's poor quality, isn't it? Fresh pack as well. Let's put another one on. But I am thinking I will have to swap to a Texas rig. So these white ones that I'm using are called a lava grub, so they've got a great action. We'll try some of these in a bit. These are the A-pods. These are the ones that I really like the look of. They've got like really big body ridges and I think it'll just give a great sort of like maggot grub effect in the water. They look cool, those. They do these in loads of different colours as well. So let's put those in my pocket. What else have we got? White always does good on this section of canal, so let's try one of these. These are a T-Fat, which is more of a conventional style lure, but with some little changes. It's got like little side imitation sort of pincers on it, or legs, which is cool. So let's put this on. This is a size 4 hook, and that lure goes on that absolutely perfectly, that soft plastic. Let's keep them on me. Like I said, folks, it's absolutely ideal predator fishing conditions today. Ideal. Obviously, if I see any fish moving about, I'll give it a go. It's really clear. You can see the bottom. Also, the water level's really far down. Here we are. There's a shoal of fish here. You can see them. Don't know if they're perch. Look like potentially roach. But let's give it a go. Where the roach are, the perch will be. See them all scatter there. There must be perch with them. Maybe a cheb weight would be better. Not sure if you're going to be able to see this, but that lure has got a great little swimming action in the water. Tail's flicking around. superb. If there was any fish down there, I am certain that they would grab that. The movement is just absolutely epic. This, folks, is the reality of fishing canal stretches where you don't know where the good spots are. A lot of the anglers that you'll see lure fishing, they'll know all the good spots. They'll live local to the places that they fish, and you'll never see them fishing any further afield. So I like to put these videos on so people aren't disheartened when they go and they don't catch anything. Part of the fun is searching the fish out, and yet it can be frustrating, and you do need to adapt to the conditions. So I know for a fact I'm going to have to put a Texas rig on here because I just keep getting weeded up. But I'm going to persevere with this a little bit. There was definitely fish in this spot, so I'm going to mark this spot on my watch to come back to at some point. Let's mark it under pin. Roach shoal in this swim. So there you go, marked it for future reference. Obviously you can do that on your iPhone if you wanted to. You can save spots on Google Maps, but this is just easier. Everything's in one spot. This looks like a great little spot to work here. We've got quite a large section of bridge. I can see fish moving about, and it's quite a bit deeper here as well. So this looks like a great little spot. Let's have a go. But I think it might be time to swap over to a Texas rig or a cheb weight, something that can fish weedless. Right, I can see the lure. I've just spooked a lot of fish down here. Let's try to the back. Right, I've decided to go with a Texas rig because I'm just getting weeded up by leaves and all sorts, which I expected today, to be honest, but I wanted to try it on the jig head first. But if anybody's wondering about the setup that I'm using today, I'm using a little 1000 size Savage Gear reel paired with a Savage Gear light game 8'3" SG2 3 to 14 gram rod, which is absolutely perfect for perch, trout, anything. Obviously I normally use a lighter setup for trout, but this will be fine. Let's swap this over to a Texas rig. Take me about 2 minutes. Don't let anybody fool you, folks. Lure fishing is probably 95% faffing about re-rigging, 4% fishing, and 1% catching fish. I don't think these lures are designed for fishing weedless. I think they're meant for fishing jig heads. Yeah, they're a little bit too soft for using on this Texas rig setup. I'm just going to try the lava grub again because these are a bit thicker, so these might be better. So cool, these ones. They've got the little grub feet on them as well. Attention to details, epic. I think these for trout, absolutely ideal, but for the canal at this time of year I don't think it's the right thing for these lures. But these ones are a little bit more durable than the last one that I used, so we might be all right here. Snagged. How did I manage that, folks, on a weedless jig head? But at least I know that. Oh, you're f***ing kidding me. Look at that. Straight over there to the only thing that was dangling in the water. And I've hooked it. What are the chances? Oh, What an absolute noddy. Hook sharp though, eh? Hell, I absolutely nailed that. The only thing over there and I've caught it. For God's sake, Westy. That's no good. I want to get it over there to the back edge. See if there's out milling about over that back edge. That does. Every time I come out doing this, I expect I've cracked it and I'm going to get a quick bite. But it just never works like that on this stretch of canal. It's so tough. I just don't know where the spots are, that's the problem. So I'm confident I'll get something at some point today though. I'm going to keep at it. Look at this. Absolutely covered in crap, the bottom down there. Deep as hell though. Deep as hell. Let's have a cast under this bridge. Deep as anything. Have I, heck?
It's time yet.
Oh. Right, well, I'm at a bit of a loss for what to do, folks. So I've just pulled myself over here for a second to have a think. I've seen jack pike knocking about, so I'm being a little bit irresponsible by not using a wire trace. So I'm definitely going to put a wire trace on. Before I call it a day, there's too much stringer weed, folks. I am just getting weeded up every single time, and they will not take the lure with all that weed on it. There's no way. So the Harmony baits aren't really meant for these kind of conditions, I don't think. They're meant for use with a normal jig head, a micro jig head, and not necessarily a weedless rig like the Texas rig. They just don't seem to rig right on those. I think if you're going to try the Harmony baits, use a normal jig head. For me, for today, I think I will keep a weedless style rig on, but use something like a Molex stick flex, which is a little bit bigger. I'm going to be able to use a bigger hook, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap to a cheb weight. I definitely need to use weederless. There's just no point in me using any kind of jig head today. It's too many leaves, there's too much litter on the bottom, there's too much weed, we've had too much of a hot summer. It's difficult. I've seen plenty of fish moving about down this stretch. This is a really healthy stretch. Some of the roach that I'm seeing are like that, folks. They're absolutely massive. And I'm sure that one of them would have taken one of those worms, and they were coming in to investigate it, but I didn't have any actually try for it. So it might be one to come and try with micro lures, like really micro lures, tiny ones. That might be cool to do here at some point. So I'm not going to give up on the Harmony baits. We'll try those on the ribble or something like that. We might get chub on them. They might be better for trout at the right time of year, so we'll not give up on them just yet. So let's swap this to a wire trace, and we'll take the Texas rig off and we'll put a 4 gram cheb weight on. That's a cheb weight. You probably won't be able to pick it up on the GoPro, but it's a little ball. It's got 2 metal loops on. Your hook goes onto one of them and your leader goes onto the other, whether that be fluorocarbon or a light wire trace like I'm going to use today. There are some big pike in this stretch of river. They're few and far between. It's mostly jack pikes, and they're few and far between as well. But we're here, we're trying it. But I honestly think it's just too weedy. Even the cheb weight is going to get weed all around it. The middle of the canal seems to be the weediest, and then towards the outer edges it's a little bit shallower, and the weed seems to have, I don't know whether it's died off and pushed into the middle, but there's nothing really around the outside. There's bits and pieces. So I could just try and keep it in close and cast down the side of the canal. I could do that, but I think with a bigger lure on, it's going to give us a better chance of maybe getting a jack, so we can at least save the blank. That's my plan. Right, so this is what I've got. So this is what I'm using. I've got a 4 gram tungsten cheb weight, a size 2 weederless hook. I've got one of these very fine wire traces from Wolfram, Conger, Fishing Expert. I'm not sure which is the brand there, but there you go. They're a very supple, ultra fine wire trace, perfect for targeting perch and pike. Now, it'll be a decent sized perch, I reckon, that takes this lure on a size 2, but I have caught tiny perch on size 2 weederless before. The only thing that'll hinder us is weed getting caught around all that. And if it's just too much, then look, we'll have to call it a day. But let's give it a try on a bigger lure. Just working the areas that have absolutely no weed. And there we go. And again, they're a Molex stick flex. Those lures. Look, loads of movement to them. Nice and robust, really stiff. But that might get us a fish. Let's see. Folks, there's a giant perch in front of me here. Really good perch. You see, I knew I'd be able to see them. See if this catches his eye. Just on the way back to the car. Good to know that they're in here though. Where's he gone now? There's loads of little tiny silvers sat here. What that perch was hunting. What's that? Ooh. Jack pike. It's right at it. He's already been for it once. He's interested. He's not taking that for love nor money. He's just sat down there. Okay. So if you was wondering how big that perch was that I saw before, it was probably about a pound and a half. It's a decent sized perch. It's just good to know that they're in here of that size, do you know what I mean? You're not telling me that there's no fish under this big bridge. It's like predator fish. Heaven. But it's very shallow. Oh wow. Oh my god folks, this is a perch. This is a perch. It's huge. It's huge. Let's get it over here. Let's get it over here. That is a big perch. Right, you can see it. I'm counting it. Oh, I've got it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, on the way back. Let's put it down here on the edge. On the way back, folks. On the stick flex. Right under that bridge. What was I saying, folks? Predator fish heaven under there. Right, okay. I need to set the camera up somewhere so I can get a decent still of this and then I'll unhook it. Let's put my bag on it so it doesn't go anywhere. Get in. Oh, folks, I am buzzing. Wow, it just makes it worth coming out. In our little 3-hour session, what are we on? We're not on 3 hours anymore. I've been fishing well longer than that. What are we on? We're on 3 hours and 10 minutes. Only just caught him, folks. Come on, calm down. It's because I've been resting it. Only just caught it in the side of the mouth. There's a stick flex. On the cheb weight. This fella's been caught before. You can see his lip's been ripped there at some point. So that is, if we measure him accurately as possible, that is a 30, just over a 35 centimetre perch. That is a lovely fish. This will have to do us for a shot. Look at that. That is a lovely perch. Amazing. That's showing at just under £2, which is probably about right. Let's get it back. It's been out of the water long enough, that fish. Let's give it a rest in the margin there. If there's one, there'll be others, so we'll go again. Let's let it recover a second. What a fish! What a fish to save the blank with. Look at how big it looks down there. Wow. Yeah. Well, I honestly thought that was a pike. Didn't expect it to be a perch. But again, that's a short wire trace to a 4 gram cheb weight, and then a size 2 weedless hook and a stick flex lure. So I'll be getting some more of them, I reckon. But I've been told that they were good, and obviously they've come up trumps. I actually already filmed an outro apologising for blanking, but it shows you that if you persevere, you'll get rewarded, folks. Don't give up too easy. Keep going. Keep casting. Let's get another. It's amazing how catching just one nice fish can massively change your mood. I was feeling so negged out just with all the weed. It was just making it really difficult, but I persevered. I obviously saw that fish that was moving about a little bit further down, and that kind of spurred me to make a few more casts in that area and under that bridge. And yeah, nailed it halfway across. Happy days. Well, I just want to say thanks very much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button as well if you want to stick around for more fishing adventures. Obviously, my full sea fishing setup has arrived, so that's something to look forward to over the next couple of weeks. I'm going to get out and do some coastal sea fishing, some beach casting. So loads of good stuff to look forward to on the channel. Well worth subscribing. The setups worked for me today. The 8-foot rod was definitely easier to work than a 6-foot rod was. I'm going to give the canals a miss until all this weed dies down. Obviously taking note of some of the spots today on the Coros Nomad watch. I'm going to put the GPS stats from today's session up here in the right hand corner now, so you can have a nosy at them. But we've been active for about 3.5 hours. And we've done about 4.7 kilometers, I think that is. I don't think that's miles. I don't think we've been that far, but yeah, there we go. That's what we've done today. See you next time, folks.